So I'm involved in a very fun task right now. I'm cleaning up this window channel for the windshield here in this dark, and this is not a fun thing to do under any circumstances. So I was working on this. I started over on the other side. I was working my way across the bottom here, and then I'll be going around the fence up here. So the theory on this is this has got a one-piece windshield seal that fits in, and then the glass fits in the seal, and that's how it works. But you have to. This is not a perfect. The sheet metal is not perfect. There's pinch welds and stuff here. You know, it's not anywhere near level. So they did what you see here is they use material along the bottom. This because the seal just kind of sits in here. It's got a few little. This looks like it's been folded over when it should have been, but it's got just little spots here that hold the seal, but the seal just basically sits there for the most part. And then when you get up here to this side and go around the top, then there's a fence, they call it, because it's where the metal is made, you know, like a backwards channel, and kind of holds the seal in place and holds the glass in, and so it's all the way around there. Well, you may have already noticed something that I noticed right away, is that there's two different kinds of sealer on this thing. There's this stuff here, which it was a lot thicker. I've been working on just getting it spread out and wiped off, which is not what happens. It's not wiped off at all. You have to just work on it. And then up here along the sides of it, there's a different kind of material. It's sort of a gray, white, probably was white at one point, but it's very much different, completely different. Anybody with any good eyesight and sense would know that, you know. So I didn't know what this gray stuff is. I know what this is. This is bedding compound, which is the same stuff I have right behind me in a tube right here. All right, I know what that is. There it is. Auto bedding and glazing compound, and so that's fine. I knew that. So I decided, well, I want to know what this stuff here is. What is this? What is this stuff? Because I don't know what it is. I do now. I think I know what it is now, finally. But anyway, so I got on an A-body forum that I patronize, not very much anymore because this very kind of thing. But so I took some pictures, a couple pictures. I just asked a question, and I think I made a good question. I said when I took the seal out of this windshield seal out of this car, it had two different kinds of seal on it. I said it looks like it has bedding compound here, and then it has a different kind of sealant here. So the very first reply I got was somebody that sent a picture. He posted a picture of this stuff. Even though I already said I knew what this was, he posted a picture of this stuff. He said, well, that's what you use all the way around. That's what the factory did. Even though I just put a picture up here that showed this was original windshield. It was date coded and everything. Original, never been out before. Even though I posted a picture that clearly showed this, I don't think you saw the picture. I think people are so dumb sometimes they just can't see pictures, or they don't read. I don't know. So I said thanks, but I said that's not what was in this car. And you know, people like that, they don't like, on those forums, they don't like when you challenge them. They like to answer stuff like that and give what I call a boilerplate response. You know, if you ask what something is, they don't answer the question. They just tell you what you use. No, I'm just telling you what you use. I'm not answering the question. I don't know what that is. I'm going to ignore that part of it. So anyway, 3 or 4 different people answered, you know, and it was this kind of, one of them said, well, who cares what the factory used? I'm thinking to myself, well, oh my God, I didn't know I had to get approval from you to ask a question or wonder what something was. I can't stand that. I cannot stand that when somebody infers to me that I shouldn't worry about something like that. Just do what everybody does. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm going to find out what this is if I have to do it myself, which I mostly did. And so I went to this factory service manual and looked in there on the instructions from 1969 that's told the techs how to put a windshield back in, just to see what they said. And in the instructions, they clearly say, that First thing is, if you're going to reuse the seal, you're supposed to remove the sealer and the word and, which means more than one, normally two different things. Sealer and sealer cement. Now, their terms back then were different from what we use now. We know what sealer is, but sealer cement, that was something else. So remove that from the seal if you're going to reuse the seal. And then it said apply just like this car's done. Apply a certain type of stuff here. Wrong here, just exactly what I found here. And then another kind up here, going around the top of it and down. Two different things. It was clear as day. So I posted that back up just to show them that, I don't care what you say. You were not at the factory. So telling me that's what the factory did, you don't know that. And you're wrong anyway. So, it's not a thing to prove somebody wrong, but I can't stand that. I cannot stand that when I know I have obvious evidence right in front of me and somebody just blatantly disregards it and says, well, the factory did this. The factory, that's just this bedding compound. Then finally somebody comes and says, near the end of it, they say, well, when I took my 67 apart, it had, like your car has, so to speak. They didn't say like my car, but they said it had this white stuff around there. And I was like, thank you. Finally somebody acknowledges that. So evidently, whatever this stuff is, this is actually, you peel it off, it doesn't peel off easy at all either. But the consensus so far has been that it's some sort of glazing compound, sort of like what goes in window panes in houses. The old window panes that used to be put in with stuff, like this glazing stuff. Fairly certain that's what it is, because it is not body seam sealer. We know that because it hardens up. You have to peel it off and it comes in flakes and strips and stuff like that. So it takes mechanical effort. If it was seam sealer, it'd still be fairly pliable. So it's not seam sealer. It's some other kind of glazing compound, I guess. And so, anyway, it just, that irks me so much, If you don't know something, don't say anything. Or come on there and just, let your ego down a little bit and say, well, I don't know what that is. I'd like to know myself. To tell somebody just to stand there like an emperor or something and tell them, well, you shouldn't have to worry about it. You shouldn't worry about it. Who cares about that? Well, I care. That's why I asked the question, okay? Because that brings out my challenging. I have that on YouTube periodically too. I try not to ever stir up issues or cause problems or argue or anything else. I know I should be, instead of that, I should be making videos about, travel and stuff, whatever, just solely entertainment. But I like to know the right things. And, I've had people tell me on YouTube that I didn't know what I was talking about, or, somebody told me the other day I was a kid, must have been a kid. So I straighten them out. I don't take that. I don't take that kind of stuff. And so anyway, those forums, I don't know what it is. It's like on Forrest Gump, where what the little girl says to the Forrest. She said something, or somebody said, "What's the matter with you? Are you stupid or something?" And that's what I want to ask these people. Are you stupid or something? You can't read the questions? Duh. Black stuff here, white, gray stuff here. What is it? What is it? And just to tell somebody, and that was not the only picture of bedding compound that somebody posted. They posted another like we're going to talk you into using. We're going to make you use bedding compound around this whole thing because that's what we all do. I don't need another picture of bedding compound. Don't put any more pictures up of bedding compound ever. I know what it is. They answer a question like, they don't answer it. They make announcements. It's like if I said, if I ask a question on there and I said, what color gold is this? What's the paint code for this? They would say, the first response you get on there from these goons would be, somebody would say, I went and painted my car 2012 Lexus gold. It was easy to find, and it was in a paint store, had it, and they mixed it right up, and it looks great. It's like, there's no relation to the question that anybody asked. I said, what is this paint code? It makes me, God, it makes me so irritated. I want to just, and then they'll get PO'd at you. You don't have to be mean about it. You don't have to be a butthole about it. I said, well, answer my question. That's all you got to do. You know, I want to be like a child or something. I say, what period is period this period paint period code question mark. You have to be that. You have to just, they'll do that, and then they'll get off on some kind of like comedy routine in a thread. I've had that happen, which it doesn't normally always bother me. I can deal with that. But, you know, that one was asking what kind of tape that is back there. It's like these fools don't know this stuff, so they're just going to BS their way through it. Just as long as they can get their post count up and answer a question, which is not answering it. You know, I used this on my car, and I said, I don't care what you used on your car. I want you to tell me what that tape is right there. I want you to tell me what that tape, and I'm not trying to be rude about it. I don't demand them. I ask nicely. But after about 6 or 7 bozo answers that aren't answers, that are just wasting everybody's time and is just showing that they don't know what they're talking about, it gets me frustrated. I want to say, what kind of tape is that? If you don't know what kind of tape that is, what kind of roll it came off of at the factory in 1969, shut up. Don't answer. All right, guys, I got to go before I get too worked up. We'll see you around. If you do know what kind of tape that is, let me know, would you? And this here. Thank you so much.